I've been running out of things to say. Do you wanna get high with me, baby? I know the Uber's on its way. He gon' call you up like on delay, lady. You're stressed out cause you working late. Talk a lot about that boss you hate lately. You open the door, you ain't got nowhere to go. Cause it's a hell of a ride. It's a hell of a ride. Over the east side. It's a hell of a ride. It's a hell of a ride. It's a hell of a ride.
We are back. It is vlog number 79, and it comes just a short period of time after casinos here in Nevada and a number of other places have indeed reopened. So the next vlog I show you will indeed be my return to live poker. And as I said in the last vlog, I will not criticize anyone for going back, or I will not criticize anyone for deciding not to go back. I think here in Nevada in particular, the risk is very low. Maybe it's higher elsewhere, but obviously even here there is indeed some risk. But I'm gonna go back. I'm just gonna play less than I did before, and I didn't play a ton before, usually capping out at around 20 hours per week. So look for that coming up on the next vlog. But the idea that we of course started during this quarantine period was to recap the top 5 most memorable hands that I've ever played. Definitely some honorable mentions that I've forgotten over the years, including the roughly $4,000 pot, and I'm just gonna say it because I never see this guy anymore play. Reno people will appreciate this, that me and John Miner played, the legendary maniac of Reno poker, who had King 3 and I had Ace King on a King King 5 board. And we got a whole bunch of money in and he turned his 3. And I lost about a $4,000 pot to old Miner. So one of the more painful hands I've ever played at the Atlantis. But number 1 on this list comes from September of 2014, where we're playing 3-5 No Limit Hold'em at the Peppermill. I'm sitting in seat 8 and the biggest VIP in the history of Reno poker. And if you don't know what a VIP is by now, this vlog's probably a bit too advanced for you. And I've never tried to say it's very advanced. But he was sitting in seat 8, or check that, he was sitting in seat 7. I was sitting in seat 8, so I had position on him. And sitting directly behind him, I'll never forget this, is a perfect 10 stewardess from one of the airlines in town. And he was talking a lot to her, and you could tell she didn't know much what was going on, but she was so impressed by him and how much money he had, and he's just such a charmer, really. And he wanted to show off a little bit to her, and he had even mentioned he wanted to run a big bluff at some point. So let's just say I didn't exactly forget that. But the hand in question here comes when we get an open to 20 from the button, and this particular VIP in the small blind makes the call. I'm in the big blind with Ace 8 of clubs. I make the call as well, so it's 60 in. We go to a flop of Ace of spades, 7 of spades, 9 of clubs. So I have top pair with backdoor straight and flush draws. Before it even gets to me though, the VIP shows his cards to this hot chick and fires out 3 green chips. So a $75 bet. Now I'm never folding here in 1,000 years. I could even raise to try to get the button out, but I decide against that particular strategy and elect to just call. The button ends up calling behind. So I didn't love that, but with 285 in, the turn is the Jack of Hearts. And now the small blind fires again. And again, this was back like one of the previous hands on this series, back when Cash played. He picks up 3 $100 bills and puts them into the pot. So I now have added a gut shot straight draw, and I have reason to believe, based on what he said, the fact the hot chick is behind him, and how he plays normally, that my hand is good here against him. Now I'm still worried about the guy behind me, but I think I can safely make this call. And by the way, we started the hand 2,500 effective. I was up 1,500 already on the day, and he had bought in super deep and had me covered. So I make that call, and to my relief, the button folds. So with $885 in the pot, The river comes at offsuit 6. So I don't hit my straight. I don't improve my hand at all, but front door spades do brick out. He starts counting his stack of bills, which again has me covered. And he counts out 15 of them and puts them into the pot. So a $1,500 bet, putting me to the test. All I have is a pair of aces with an 8 kicker. Now again, front door spades have missed. I find it highly unlikely that he's taking 2 pair for this much value. It's possible that he could. But when you had to look at the possibilities of hands that he had, we talk about an ace 7-9 flop. I know him well enough to know that he's definitely raising pocket 7s and pocket 9s pre-flop. He's almost always 3-betting those, regardless of position. That's how aggressive that he plays. Could he have turned a straight? Potentially. Could he have rivered a straight? Also a possibility. But again, I don't think 2 pair is ever going to be the case here. I think it's way too polarized for that. And again, I'm ruling out 7s and 9s based on the pre-flop action. So what does that leave? I think a lot of misdraws, and I think he could potentially be turning some 1-pair hands into bluffs. I don't think I'm ever going to see him turn over a hand like ace-queen and just not be sure if it's good. Though I have seen guys do that in the past, where they're just not sure if they're good, so they just decide to bet their opponent out and try to win it that way. And I've actually seen him do that, but I don't think in this case that was going to be overly likely, especially given the comments that were made. So it came down to the question of, did I want to go for it here or not? Did I want to try to make the ultimate hero call? I don't think that I've ever had the chance to pick off a $1,500 bluff in my life. And I've picked off a lot of bluffs, but rarely are they that big, and rarely do I have that chance. And it's going to hurt a lot if I lose the hand. We know that. And certainly you could look at the argument of, let's wait for a better spot, let's get a better hand before doing it. But I think this hand, and you'll see as to why it's number 1, really rose to the case of being number 1 based on the circumstances involved with the hot chick, with him showing her his cards, and me kind of putting the pieces of the puzzle together. As you can imagine by now, it wouldn't be number 1 on the list had I made the fold, so I do make the call. We have a pot of $3,885, and he shows deuce 5 of spades for a missed flush draw. And again, I don't want to try to say that I soul read him in this spot. I just want to say that when you added all these things up, that's what made the most sense to me. The missed draw. If I had to have guessed, that's what I would have guessed. So I've certainly guessed wrong in a number of places before, but in this particular instance, I managed to guess right. Maybe it wasn't the most memorable hand I've ever played. I'm not sure if it was the biggest pot I ever played. I actually don't think that it was. But when trying to think back upon the highlights of my career, I wanted number 1 to be a good one. And that's one that I'm always going to remember. That's for sure. So that's going to do it for our 5-part series here with you on the vlog of running down our most memorable hands. And it's been kind of a fun trip down memory lane for me during this quarantine period. We'll be jumping back in to live play with new video, new hands, and hope that you'll be there with us coming up next time on the vlog. If you haven't already, do me a favor and hit the like and subscribe buttons, and we'll see you back here next time.
'Cause it's a hell of a ride. It's a hell of a ride. Over the east side. It's a hell of a ride. It's a hell of a ride.